Can human reason alone actually cure our deep-seated terror of mortality?
Yeah, that is the massive question we are exploring with you today. We are taking the source material you shared and, well, extracting the most important insights to help you understand exactly how philosophers tackle that fear.
Right, and today we are doing an Essential Insights review of A Brief History of Thought by Luc Ferry.
You are experiencing a unique two-voice conversation for deeper book analysis presented by Mindful Moments. Nourish your mind on the go.
And the core premise of this book is just fascinating. The author suggests all Western philosophy is fundamentally an attempt to conquer the anxiety of our finite nature.
Exactly. I mean, seeking a form of salvation through self-generated reason rather than just relying on religious faith.
And to get there, the book breaks philosophy down into three parts. First is theory, which is how we understand reality.
Right. Then second is ethics, or how we coexist. And third is salvation, which represents how we overcome the fear of death.
Ancient Stoicism illustrates this perfectly. The book describes the Stoics as offering a salvation called apatheia.
Yes, but that was not apathy as we think of it today. It was more of a disciplined detachment. You achieved it by accepting your exact place within a perfectly rational divine cosmos.
So think of it like being a tiny, perfect gear in a massive, infinitely complex clock.
Oh, that is a great analogy.
The order of the machine is deeply comforting, because everything has a specific purpose. But the cost is absolute,
Right. That gear has no individual identity apart from the overarching mechanism.
which naturally raises a question. Does accepting a predetermined cosmic order conflict with modern ideas of personal identity?
Because eventually, that comforting clockwork just fractured.
Yeah, the scientific revolution left humanity alone in a seemingly cold universe, forcing modern philosophy to redefine the individual's place entirely from scratch.
This is Mindful Moments, where we turn powerful books into clear, rational conversations for readers, students, and educators.
So Rousseau steps into that philosophical void by introducing human perfectibility.
Right. Unlike animals, which are strictly locked into their biological instincts, humans possess the freedom to revise themselves. We can choose to change.
And Kant builds directly on that freedom. As the author explains, true ethics require disinterested action directed at the universal good.
Because we are not bound by instinct, we must choose to act out of duty to humanity as a whole, rather than just personal desire.
Wait, but does this radical freedom from natural instincts actually make us more ethical?
Or does stripping away the cosmos and divine order simply leave humanity dangerously unmoored?
Well, according to the argument, that unmooring led directly to Nietzsche's postmodern nihilism.
Right, the destruction of old values forced Ferry to search for a modern anchor that does not rely on divine authority.
And he finds that anchor in what he calls horizontal transcendence.
Rather than looking up to a divine figure in the sky for meaning, we look across the horizon to other humans.
Right. Love acts as a secular grace, drawing individuals beyond pure self-interest.
But before we critique this, let us build the strongest version of the opposing argument. Ferry's secular grace posits that when we love someone enough to sacrifice for them, we connect to something larger than ourselves.
It provides a tangible, rational foundation for meaning in a finite world.
The concept is beautiful. Still, I question whether human love alone is sturdy enough to provide genuine salvation.
Right. When faced with profound tragedy or the reality of death, can interpersonal love truly replace the promise of eternity?
That brings us to the absolute limits of reason itself.
If these insights resonate, the full suite of reviews is available to help you go deeper. The analysis examines how the argument is built, and the summary maps the full structure.
Here are questions to carry into your own reading of this book. Is salvation without a divine other logically coherent?
And does Ferry's insistence on strictly rational solutions ignore the lived reality of faith?
Click the link on screen for the related episodes. Essential insights, summary, analysis, critique, or deep critique. Subscribe, share, purchase via the link if you would like to read along and think rationally. See the many genre-based book podcasts at Mindful Moments, and nourish your mind on the go.
Consider one final thought. If human love is our ultimate salvation, what happens to those who live entirely in isolation?
Perhaps the true test of reason is finding meaning when there is no one left to love but the world itself.